I cannot hear from there. पर्सनल पर्सनल जो बोल रही है, वो मुझे सुनाई नहीं दे नहीं यार। जब वो बोल रही है, कुछ भी नहीं सुनाई दे रहा। नहीं, अरे मैं तो लैपटॉप पर ही कनेक्टेड हूँ। क्या? मोबाइल पर आना है? जी, जी। ठीक है। क्या दोबारा स्टार्ट करना है? Can I speak now? They can hear me. Hello. Hello. Honorable chairs on the dais and co-chairs, distinguished participants. I'm so happy to participate in the Unani Day celebrations, but unfortunately, because of logistic reasons, I was not able to make it in person. My apologies for the same. This talk is about the national strategy and roadmap for medical and wellness tourism in Ayush sector. The objective of the strategy is to promote India as a quality healthcare destination for persons across the globe so as to gainfully utilize the healthcare expertise and infrastructure available in the country. India has been attracting a significant quantity of medical value travel. An estimate puts the number of medical tourists at about 1 lakh 82,000 in 2020. Though the number of foreign arrivals had come down in 2020 due to the COVID 19 pandemic, the share of foreign travelers for medical purposes has seen an increase from 6.38% in 2019 to 6.7%. This reinforces the robustness of medical tourism in India. A good percentage of the medical tourists are availing of Ayush facilities at various Ayush hospitals, yoga institutes, and wellness centers. The high cost of healthcare in many developed countries, the adverse side effects of many chemical based drugs, along with increasing awareness towards holistic health, preventive care, and safe and effective treatment solutions offered by traditional medicine are attracting medical and leisure tourists for treatment, rejuvenation, wellness, and spiritual care. One of the recent policy initiatives in this regard by the Government of India is the National Strategy and Roadmap for Medical and Wellness Tourism prepared by the Ministry of Tourism last year. This is to provide an impetus to medical value travel and wellness tourism. It provides an institutional framework in the form of a national medical and wellness tourism board that would promote Ayush tourism. As per this strategy, medical visa has been introduced, e-medical visa and e-medical attendant visa facilities have already been extended to 156 countries. The introduction of a special Ayush visa category last year is aimed at facilitating easier travel for Ayush therapy and wellness. Another important feature of the strategy is the provision of financial assistance to medical tourism service providers, including those in the Ayush sector, for participation in medical tourism fairs, medical conferences, and wellness fairs, and allied roadshows in India and abroad. Overall, it aims at strengthening the ecosystem for medical and wellness tourism, developing a brand and ensuring quality assurance. The Champion Service Sector Scheme for Medical Value Travel has already been launched to augment medical tourism in the field of IOS systems. It offers support for establishing state of the art Ayush hospitals. While these are all welcome initiatives, at the same time, much more needs to be done. What kind of policy and strategic options are available as a way forward so far as Ayush sector is concerned? Strategic utilization of Ayush under Heal in India and Heal by India program is one of the important steps to be taken. All should realize that while India has been making a lot of push diplomatically for the promotion and popularization of Ayush abroad, it comes out of a vision that humanity is one. India seeks to position itself as a global source for the health sector. Under this campaign, it aims to promoting medical facilities and infrastructure. It also involves plans to standardize processes and treatment packages for foreign nationals. So there's already a great attraction among foreigners for Ayush and yoga therapies in India. They should be made aware of the facilities and benefits in other Indian systems of medicine, including Siddha, Unani, Ayurveda, and all that. Now, in my talk, I would like to mention about six, seven action points that the government and the industry should take. The first one is quality assurance of products. The development of quality assurance system through regulation, standardization, accreditation, and streamlining of institutional procedures should be given top priority. Much has already been done by the mandatory practice of adoption of WHO standards and guidelines of good manufacturing practices for food and medicine in the Ayurveda sector. This practice needs to be projected and publicized globally, which will contribute to easy export of Ayush products to other countries. And the global perception gets influenced by US FDA and European Union regulations in pharmaceuticals. The registration and recognition of Ayush products under US FDA and EU as medicine is an uphill task, but which needs to be due emphasis to be given by the industry. Appropriate regulatory implementation of quality assurance and research will contribute to that. The second one is same quality assurance in services. The service providers should be well qualified and the hospitals and centers should have all the standard facilities expected of modern healthcare. Lack of quality in services may bring a bad name to the sector and the country. A scheme of accreditation of Ayush hospitals has been in operation since 2010, but with little response. It may be made a mandatory requirement. Appropriate regulations be made in consultation with state governments, industries, and the establishments. The third one, which is not given due importance, is connectivity. Access is an important element in any healthcare program, and Ayush is no exception. Howsoever good a healthcare facility is, unless there are easy physical access, patients will not visit the same. This is particularly so when we plan to extend the Heal in India program and the accessors under that plan are foreigners. Ensuring connectivity has to be given the highest priority. International air connectivity to different regions and states of India will contribute greatly to medical value travel. People will aware of the health and well-being therapies only if there are proper transport facilities and therefore strengthening the domestic transport infrastructure. Air, rail, water, and road will have to be taken up on priority basis. The heritage and cultural centers can be linked in this transport network, particularly for Ayurveda sector. The last mile connectivity should not remain a problem. Major Ayush hospitals may be promoted as tourist destinations and can be linked with the Incredible India initiative of the Ministry of Tourism. Further, like medical complexes, holistic medical medicities may be visualized in India, which can cater to modern medical healthcare, as well as Ayush based medical value travel all at one place. Such medicities can be visualized near international airports with good connectivity. At the national level, there's a need for coordination among the ministries concerned, such as shipping and transport, railways, civil aviation, tourism, culture, health, and family welfare, as of course, Ayush. My fourth action point is having composite travel pack. Provision of a package for medical value travel and wellness treatment, connecting service providers, government, travel agents, hotels, airlines, railways, road and water transport, taxi and other transfer services, hospital and wellness centers, and visits to Ayush and other heritage sports and cultural programs will be a great booster. This can also combine work with leisure and wellness concepts. The gift on items can be of Ayush products. Strategy is to change the current perception among many foreigners that Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, etc. are backward looking medical systems. Exposure to current Ayush education and research institutions in this country, such as tertiary care centers, Ayush grid initiatives in IT sector, R&D, etc. will contribute to mindset change in the foreigners. A sixth policy intervention is required, particularly from the government, is in the area of health insurance. This should cover Ayush therapy and wellness centers. The portability of insurance from country to country is an aspect to be attended to. As of now, it's very not much there. One step would be the inclusion of Indian health insurance companies in the global market. Ayush hospitals may seek to get empaneled by third-party administration for health insurance. My last but the most important strategy suggestion is branding of India. It is to be branded as the premier wellness and medical value travel destination. The whole, whether it's a medicine or education or any other sector, is relies on branding. You have to make special efforts. The global positioning of Ayush and yoga requires careful strategic intervention, increasing awareness about the efficacy and affordability of Indian medical systems across India and the entire world through their preventive, corrective, and curative approach to healthcare is to be comprehensive and unique, is to be disseminated at a substantial level all over the world, propelling the research and development activities, innovation, high quality, authentic education and practice both in India and abroad should be encouraged. The re-emergence of many communicable diseases, antibiotic resistant bacterial infections, numerous viral diseases, and prevalence of chronic diseases like diabetes, cardiac diseases, and liver and kidney diseases are on the rise all over the world. This kind of opportunity for Ayush systems like Unani, Ayurveda, etc., to get into the field properly world over. And overall, the world is realizing the wisdom of the old medical system. And finally, let me conclude by saying that you have already seen on this thing. It is the year of G20. India is chairing G20. The theme of India's G20 presidency, that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or one earth, one family, one future. That goes well with one health concept, which Ayush systems have been promoting. Branding of traditional medicine systems as the best means to develop immunity, general immunity, and enhance wellness goes well with that theme. So that's all I would like to. I stop here. Thank you for your attention.
So people opt out of health insurance, but they have to stay healthy. Check so what try and look What is a wellness? Wellness center. Will come in. योगा में I have treatments available जिससे पेशेंट का पेन कम हो जाए. I have to that acute pain has to be handled. So I refer my patient to the pain management team. वहां जाते हैं, वो पेन उनका मैनेज होता है, they come back and then I start the treatment. So we need similarly in oncology. I'll have some examples before you. Let's see that. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So wellness centers will bring, healthy living classes and events. You will have to create those events and classes and keep patients inspired and in touch with their day-to-day health and wellness. Patients walk in, come for 5 days, 7 days, you do panchkarma, we do lots of other treatments and therapies. Patient walks in, 10 दिन ट्रीटमेंट की, घर गया, फिर वापस वही एनवायरमेंट, वही प्रॉब्लम्स, वही डाइट. मैम कुछ नहीं हुआ. So the onus is on me to see that when he goes back into the environment, he is totally freed of that bad habit. Now it's bad habits die hard. We all know that. तो उसको change करना बहुत जरूरी है. It's very necessary that you make those changes. So wellness and regeneration experience होना चाहिए, preventive medicine होना चाहिए उसमें. So those healthy living programs have to be there. Next slide, please. Quality quality of life we have already discussed. Next, please. Next slide, please. This is a study that happened, and it was done on 23,000 people. You can imagine a big study, and they were studied for adherence to 4 simple behaviors. No, it's not easy. 4 simple behaviors. Kya? Non-smoking, exercising for 3.5 hours a week, eating a healthy diet, and maintaining a healthy weight. BMI less than 30. We are becoming a diabetic capital. We are becoming a obesity capital of the world. There are reasons for it. We need to understand those reasons. Why? So, this was done in, and you can always go into detailed study of this. It is in Archives of Internal Medicine. And those who are adhering to these 4 simple behaviors, 93% of diabetes, 81% of heart attacks, 50% of strokes, and 30% of all cancers were prevented. Isn't that interesting study? Huge, 23,000. I mean, it's a very old study, but there could be newer ones which we can look at. Next, please. Integrative oncology. I have done cases where patients have been on chemo, radio, and then coming to me for the treatment, for, keeping that quality of life. So I have done that. So there is integrative oncology as well happening. A lot is happening in this field. While there will be a lot of resistance, but this is happening. And I think as we go, we should understand that हमारी limitations कहाँ है और हम कहाँ कर सकते हैं. We should be able to catch up with that. Next, please. Fibromyalgia, again very interesting area where lots of treatments can be given, and as traditional medicine has a lot to offer. So you see the standard medication, yoga with gentle poses, meditation, breathing exercise, group discussion, they all assist in combating serious fibromyalgia symptoms like pain, fatigue, stiffness, poor sleep, depression, poor memory, anxiety, and poor balance. So there are options available, and we should look at these options and studies which are also substantiating those claims that we are making. Next, please. Alzheimer's, again, a very common and very, fast picking up with elderly patients. So we have a lot to offer in that as well. Next, please. So we know what are the facts. The best-selling drugs of today are those that treat obesity, type 2 diabetes, and high levels of cholesterol. And the model is still based on people responding once they have entered a dysfunctional state. We all know when you get the problem, you come to a physician. If you don't have a problem, you think you're disease free and you don't come to a physician. But I think for even maintaining a healthy lifestyle and for understanding that is there something wrong with my habits, is there something wrong with my lifestyle, you still need to come to a physician and a patient as a patient and understand what changes should I make. That's preventative, and that has to be understood. To get people to transition between less healthy diets and lifestyles to more healthy ones require more than just pointing out the direction they should move in. It's not easy. If you tell a patient, I've seen umpteen such cases coming to me. If I tell a patient you need to eat this much of calories, not eat this, not eat this, 1 महीने बाद वो वापस आ जाएंगे, मैम 1 ही किलो वजन कम हुआ, 2 किलो वजन कम हुआ, बट आप खा क्या रहे थे? आप घर का खाना खा रहे थे? नहीं, ट्रैवलिंग आउट, सो हैविंग इट आउटसाइड. देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ फैक्टर्स. द ब्लेम विल अल्टीमेटली कम ऑन द फिजिशियन कि आप नहीं कर सके, दवाइयां नहीं कर सकी. तो हमें उस चीज में बहुत सावधान रहना पड़ेगा, दैट और टेक अ फुल कंट्रोल ऑफ द पेशेंट. दैट्स वेयर वेलनेस सेंटर्स विल कम. यू विल हैव टू ना, उनको जैसे बोलते हैं ना, बंद करके एक रूटीन बनानी पड़ेगी. दैट्स व्हाई वेलनेस सेंटर्स आर नीडेड. आप उनको लाएंगे, उनकी रूटीन बनेगी, उनको इतना सा खाना मिलेगा. दिस इज द पोर्शन साइज दैट यू हैव टू हैव. अब आयुर्वेद में हम कहते हैं अंजलि प्रमाण. अगर आप देखें, कोई भी इतना नहीं, इससे बहुत ज्यादा खाते हैं. और ज़्यादा खाते हैं, हमें रिड्यूस करना है। और जो ऑलरेडी सफ़र कर रहा है, जिसका वज़न ऑलरेडी 50 किलो ज़्यादा है, वो अगर वो कंटिन्यू करता रहेगा और जिसका 10 किलो से ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है ना, आई टेल माय पेशेंट्स, इफ यू हैव इंक्रीज़ फ्रॉम 50 to 60, you will slowly reach the 80 and 90s. You will never come down because वो कंट्रोल नहीं आ पाता है till they are taken full control of. So that's where the wellness centers are needed, to guide you, to hold your hand, to be strict on you, एंड मॉर्निंग से इवनिंग तक आपके ऊपर नजर रहती है वहां पे. दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. It's like bringing up children, so you have to do that. So that's where wellness centers. Next slide, please. Why wellness or integration? This, I think most of you know it. Next slide, please. Provides dignity and respect to the patient. Every individual includes a caring therapeutic relationship, honors the whole person, mind, body, and spirit, recognizes the innate capacity to heal. We have forgotten that. We have really forgotten that. Our body has an innate capacity to heal. जिसे हम कहते हैं innate immunity. And we have brought that immunity within us. COVID has shown us that. सो वो इन्नेट जो हमारे अंदर हीलिंग कैपेसिटी है उसको हम नहीं जाते, हम चले जाते हैं इनडिस्क्रिमिनेट यूज ऑफ एंटीबायोटिक्स. इनडिस्क्रिमिनेट यूज. गला खराब हुआ, एंटीबायोटिक 5 दिन ले लो. Not even going to the doctor, because last time I went, I was given that antibiotic. So again, this time, why should I go to the doctor? I am my own doctor. Let me take antibiotics for 5 days, 7 days. If it doesn't work, 10 days. That's building the resistance, and that's bringing down the immunity. Now, that awareness, that education has to be given to everyone, including all of us. Many of these, even medical families do it. जरा सा गला खराब नहीं हुआ, जरा सा कुछ नहीं हुआ, तो एंटीबायोटिक ले लो. Why do you need antibiotics so often? You don't. Give your body some rest. Give your body some good food. Give your mind some good thoughts that will help you. So this is what is important. Recognizes the innate capacity to heal, offers choice for complementary and conventional therapies. So this is what the wellness center or integrative centers or wellness resorts will do. Next slide, please. Integrative healthcare. So there could be many permutations and combinations, as I said, depending upon what is available to you, what you want to give, how the education you want to give to the consumers and the patients. So that all is part of all this. I will not go into the details. Next, please. This is another study done by Independent Providers Association. Another study, see, very interesting. In the limited population studied, primary care physicians utilizing an integration medical approach, emphasizing a variety of chemotherapy, had substantially improved clinical outcomes, and cost offsets compared with PCPs utilizing conventional medicine were very, very low. So this study again was done and seen that if you bring in complementary medicine and make it a part of your whole healthcare package that you want to give, your costs of healthcare will be reduced drastically. So again, as I said, whether it's through a wellness center or an integrated center or a wellness retreat or a resort, whatever, you may have a 2-roomed wellness center in a city. You may have a 4-room wellness center, but something that's going to be helpful and help the patient or the consumer to get a grip on their health. That's very important. Next slide, please. I'll not go into the details of this. So we all know practitioners should work as coach or partners, helping the patient to tap into their hidden power of healing. So we have to be very, very honest with our patients, and the patients have to be honest with us. It is a two-way thing. And that's how the wellness will be achieved. Next slide, please. As I said, physicians and patients are partners in this healing process, and so the best and the most suitable and effective therapeutic options must be selected for ailments from the range available. So you have a wide range, smorgasbord of options available. So you pick up, okay, as a wellness consultant or as a wellness as a first point of contact, I'm the person who will decide what to give to my patient. Understanding the patient's complete history, background, medical history, family history, everything. That is why in our books it's written there. आपको सब हिस्ट्री लेनी है. आयुर्वेद में हम नाड़ी देख के ही नहीं खाली काम करते हैं, नाड़ी भी देखते हैं, फैमिली हिस्ट्री भी लेते हैं और एग्जामिन भी करते हैं. एवरीथिंग हैपेंस. So everything is happening similarly in Unani. Everything happens. तो आप भी सब करते हैं, हम भी सब करते हैं. So as a practitioner, it's our responsibility. The idea is to deliver seamless healthcare to the patient while navigating through a complex maze of options. ये एक प्रॉब्लम हमेशा आती है. पेशेंट जब आता है ना, एक कॉम्प्लेक्स, लाइक व्हेन आई वाज इन देहरादून, वहां पे पेशेंट आते थे, वो कहते थे, हाउ डू यू नो आयुर्वेद इज गुड फॉर मी, हाउ डू यू नो यूनानी इज गुड फॉर मी, हाउ डू यू नो टिबेटन मेडिसिन इज गुड फॉर मी. So we used to have exchanges with physicians. Since I was the director of wellness, I had physicians under me, Unani, Tibetan, acupuncture, then we had yoga, everybody. We used to have, एक patient आता है, उसके लिए हम एक meeting करते थे. We used to sit together and say what is available with each specialty, and then decide. And then immediately the call was taken by me, but then I used to sit with all, and I'm not of all, so I need to get information that हाँ ये हम कर सकते हैं. We'll give option in 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. इस तरह से हम decide करते थे that this is going to be your protocol for a patient for the next 14 days, 8 days. This is how it was decided. So the idea is because gets confused, no? He needs a seamless ये कि भाई मुझे एडवाइस जो आप दोगे स्ट्रेट एडवाइस होना चाहिए. आई शुड नॉट गेट कंफ्यूज व्हाइल कमिंग इनटू अ वेलनेस सेंटर कि मैं, जैसे प्राइमरी हेल्थ सेंटर्स में होता है, पेशेंट आते हैं, उनको ये नहीं पता होता कि एलोपैथ के पास जाएं. पहले तो एलोपैथ के पास जाते हैं जब एक्यूट प्रॉब्लम होती है, कि आयुर्वेदिक प्रैक्टिशनर भी बैठा हुआ है, यूनानी भी बैठा हुआ है, होम्योपैथी भी बैठा हुआ है, तो मैं किसके पास जाऊं? Not getting confused. So that's where a wellness physician will work. Next slide, please. I'm done. I'm done. Thank you. You came at the right time. Thank you so much, everyone. So I'll take any questions later on. Huh? Okay. I'm sorry for running beyond time.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we have a memento presentation for ma'am. I request Dr. Akshanda to please present a memento to Dr. Deepika. Please join. And also a token, floral token from us. Thank you, ma'am. That was a wonderful deliberation. And you're absolutely right that the way a physician advises the patient has changed during the recent years. And the role of diet and lifestyle advices has increased. Integration and complementary approach is what we have to adopt and get benefits that would ease the sufferings. Taking form from your presentation, ma'am, practitioner and patients are indeed partners. Thank you so much. The next talk that we have is from Dr. N. Zahir Ahmed, who is Deputy Director of our Regional Research Institute of Unani Medicine, Chennai. He is the in charge of the institute. He's completed his education from Government Unani Medical College, Chennai, and postgraduate from National Institute of Unani Medicine, Bangalore. He also holds a diploma in hospital management from National Institute of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, and he is actively involved in clinical research in our institute. And indeed, our institute at RRM Chennai, all of us know that it's a very coming up to be a very leading institute, which is involving research in all on fields. Tahir Ahmed will give a talk on exploring the strengths on Unani medicine in health and wellness sector and experience sharing. Dr. Zahir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Nifat, for the brief introduction of mine. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Respected Chairperson, Dr. Sunita Garg, my colleagues, co-chairs, chairs, and dear delegates. May Almighty's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon all of you. Namaskar and a very good morning. The topic which has been assigned to me is the exploring strengths of United System of Medicine in health and wellness sector, experience sharing. What I would like, actually, my talk was more oriented to the was oriented more towards the students and PG scholars. Rather, I find very few scholars over here. Well, it will be a recap for my colleagues here from CCRM and our guest. So, in my talk, I would be just highlighting in a common words what exactly health is and what wellness is, and how it could be correlated with Unani medicine. And then I have highlighted a few of the CCRM's activities and achievements in areas of health and wellness, particularly experience sharing from my institute as well as few other peripheral institutions of CCRM. And I would also be just highlighting what is the way forward. Okay, please. To begin with, a brief definition, as we all know that health refers to complete physical, mental, and social well-being. Whereas to differentiate between health and wellness, I have highlighted that wellness aims to enhance that well-being. That's the core difference between both of this. Health is a state of being, whereas wellness is the state of living a healthy lifestyle. Through Madam's talk, we have come to know by this time what exactly is health and wellness. If you see the Unani concept, it has been clearly mentioned that health is defined as a physiological state in which all the functions of human body are normal. All the physiological means it includes both physical, mental, environmental, psychological, emotional, etc. through proper balancing of its element and composition. Well, wellness, it is almost similar to Asbab the concept of prevention of diseases in non-medicine. That is a preventive concept of medicine. Asbab I'd be highlighting that in few of my slides how it is correlated with the wellness. Next slide, please. Well, everybody is aware that CCRM has been right from day one, has been involved in extensively involved in health and sector activities, and CCRM through its peripheral institutions is playing a very vital role in the health and wellness sector by providing preventive, promotive, curative, rehabilitative, and palliative care through different healthcare programs. Next slide, please. As we all spread through the nook and corner of the country, we have been delivering the healthcare needs of the Indian population. Next slide, please. So these are all the core areas on which CCRM's research program, health program is based upon. The first and foremost is the literary research, and then comes the preclinical research, then clinical research, drug standardization research, then survey and cultivation of medicinal plants research, then IEC and public health programs. So through these different programs, CCRM is catering to the needs of the Indian population, healthcare needs of the Indian population. Next slide, please. So healthcare delivery through public health programs include uh, general OPD, geriatric and senior citizen OPD, mother and child health OPD, NCDs OPD, mobile and school health programs. Then we have Swasthya Parikshan program and health plan for scheduled class and scheduled tribe. That is SC, SP, and TSP. These are the projects through which outreach projects through which we cater to the health needs of the population. Next slide, please. See, these are all the strength areas of Unani medicine in health and wellness sector. That is Medicatrix Naturae. Everybody is aware that as far as Unani medicine is concerned, our main supreme healer is our tabiyat. We rather assist this tabiyat, this power, to get rid of the disease or to prevent from disease. We do not treat the patient, rather we assist the Medicatrix Naturae to regain its lost power. Concept which will continue very vital coming days also, as we have seen during the COVID pandemic that through different campaigns, Ayush Immunity campaign, Azadi Amrit also campaign, the health of particularly taken care of through different Joshandas and Kadas and Khamiras. And we have able to in the peak pandemic period. And we have a robust concept of preventive medicine that is which is based on asbabicid zaruriya. And as we all know that Unani medicine has laid down six basic essential factors responsible for the preservation of health and promotion of health. So this particular concept is there to play a vital role in the prevention of diseases and promotion of health. And we also have a holistic approach to health and disease. We rather don't treat a patient as a single individual, rather as a whole. We take care of the body, mind, and spirit while treating a patient. So there is one important concept which is a strength area of the Indian system of medicine. Then we have individualized treatment approach, therapeutic approach based on misage of patient, misage of drugs, misage of diet. All this plays a very important role in the therapeutic approach of a patient. So we have the concept of this pharmacogenomics in Unani medicine. Based on this, it's also a strength area where we can play a very vital role. So dietetics and nutraceuticals. This is one area where we have been lagging behind. And I fail to understand that still a specialty of dietetics is yet to come in postgraduate in system of medicine. Still, it is not there. Whereas we have a lot of dietetic formulations, nutraceuticals, lot of nutraceuticals there are there in the literature. Mao shair, barley water, mao rye, whey water, mao lahm, soups, harira. All these are yet to explore. Their effectiveness is yet to be explored uh, preclinically and clinically. So this has been there in use for thousands of years, but still we have not been able to explore their efficacy. So in the days to come, we hope to focus on these particular areas and detoxification of the body to ilaj bit tadbir. Ilaj bit tadbir is a core method of Unani treatment wherein the altered temperament is normalized or the excessive production of morbid humor is arrested or eliminated or resolved through various special techniques. So this is one area wherein we can play a very vital role. United system of medicine can play a very vital role. Nearly 50 different regimens in United States of medicine, through which we can able to promote health and prevent disease. Then polypharmaceutics, Unani is rich with so many polyformulations. Very few of them have been subjected to clinical use. And in the coming days, hope to incorporate these different polypharmaceutical formulations in the preclinical and clinical use. Mental health area is one special area where in United system of medicine can do a lot. I don't want to go into details due to the paucity of time. And then we have a role to play in acute, chronic, and lifestyle diseases. Gone were the days when patients approaches us only for the chronic diseases. No, that's not the case now. Thanks to the introduction of pharmacopoeial validation of common drugs in common ailments, we see in our OPDs a lot of acute patients coming for their daily needs. So herein also we can play a very vital role. And there is a concept of mukhawiyat. You're all aware that mukhawiyat of azai raisa and azai badan, organ-specific tonics are there enshrined in the classical texts. Then there is a concept of mufarrihat, exhilarant. This is the age of depression. We all agree with that. But in spite of that, if we it's a part of United treatment, particularly in diseases which are related to psychological disorders. So we use mufarrihat in such patients, and this is the one area where we can play a vital role. Next slide, please. So as I was telling you that Asbabicitte has influence on different systems of body. It almost cover every dimension of health, be it physical, be it mental, be it environmental, be it psychological, spiritual, emotional, everything is covers. See, actually, these are six basic essential principles or factors which are responsible for if we adhere to it strictly and we adopt a balance between these six essential factors, a person could able to lead a healthy lifestyle. So take the case of Hawaii Muhi, that is atmospheric air. Atmospheric air wherein we live, it influences the cardiovascular system, respiratory system. I have quoted Tabiyat in almost all the six essential factors. The reason is it comprehends every system of the body. Likewise, makulat or mashrubat, food and drinks. Drinks influence the daily metabolism, tabiat, then harkate sune, physical movement and repose, which exerts its influence on musculoskeletal system, cardiovascular system, and of course tabiat. Then we have the concept of harkate sukun and nafsania, psychic movements and repose, which influences on central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, psychology. Then you have the norm exa, that is sleep and wakefulness, which has its influence again on the cerebral nervous system, peripheral nervous system, psychosomatic health, GIT, tabiat. See, initially we were not aware that sleep, of course, influences the digestion. Now, due to the very sedentary lifestyle, people addicted to video games, people addicted to gadgets, they often, particularly the children, they lose their sleep, and that's how their the appetite, their digestion, everything gets spoiled. So Unani medicine has already highlighted about these issues in following a healthy lifestyle. And the last one is istifragh ihtibas, that is evacuation and retention. Through this, it has its influence on the excretory system, GIT, metabolism, reproductive system, skin, lymphatic system, and of course on tabiat. So it almost includes every dimension of the health, and one needs to strictly adhere to these principles if you want to be a healthy, if you want to lead a healthy lifestyle. Next slide, please. As I was highlighting in the strength areas, Mukhaviya or Mukhaviya Azaya Raisa, Mukhaviya Badan, etc., is a unique feature of United system. It strengthens and tones up the vitals of the vital organs of the body and protect them to save against the possible harmful substances. It improves the body immune and strengthen the tabiyat or restoration of health and management of disease. It plays a vital role in strengthening organs and systems during epidemics. Almost all the drugs which I have highlighted are known to have an antioxidant properties. So the United physicians were right in their claims when they say that it should be a part of our line of management when we add muhawiyat. So after the main treatment is given, along with that, Hazam is done, digestion is tried. Then along with that, you need to strengthen that particular organ which is affected, or the vital organs has to be supported. Human equilibrium. Next slide, please. The concept of mufarrihat, it is a special group of drugs which create a feeling of happiness by relaxing the mind and heart from various stress. These drugs also create an overall feeling of well-being, which is a uniqueness of Unani medicine. This group of drugs are used in the management of neuropsychiatric and cardiac disorders. Drugs that clean, furbish, lengthen, and improve the quality of ruh and qalbi, and restore the normal temperament of heart, resulting in restoration of normal brain temperament with a feeling of ecstasy. So see, these are all the drugs which are usually used in the as mufarrihat. Next slide, please. There are single drugs as well as compound formulations. Now you have certain the main focus area of council is clinical research program. Next slide, please. Some of the diseases on which the council has taken scientific leads. Next slide, please. These are all the drugs for which patent has been obtained by CCRM, and these drugs are used as kit medicines in the general OPDs as well as in the mobile health OPDs. Next slide, please. These are all some of the clinical research projects completed at RRM Chennai. These projects, these diseases include national health programs such as viral hepatitis, malaria, filariasis, as well as chronic disorders such as rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, as well as some acute and cosmotherapeutic studies which we have carried out all these in the last 4 decades. Next slide, please. These are all some of the clinical validation projects wherein pharmacopoeial formulations are used in day-to-day illnesses, and we have found that it has got a tremendous effect. We are generating safety and efficacy data of all these Unani pharmacopoeial formulations in different common ailments. Next slide, please. These also include acute, chronic, as well as lifestyle diseases. Next slide, please. Well, the general OPD program is mainly functioning with the aim of providing treatment for common ailments through Unani medicine and also to select cases for research OPDs, research studies. So far, the ROM Chennai has been able to treat nearly 30 lakh patients. NABH is one factor which we see daily the number of patients are increasing. It's a known fact that whenever you introduce, we have been recently accredited with by NABH. We have tried to correlate the data of the last 6 months and the next 6 months, and you see the difference of number of patients, which are the difference in the number of patients. The main reason is the focus of NABH is mostly on the quality of care which is being given to the patients. When that is augmented, you see the number of patients increasing, and the safety of the patient is assured at the hospital, which is an NABH accredited. So we have a 49 bedded IPD section. Average number of MCH OPD at RRM Chennai is 73, 87 patients per day. That is particularly attend geriatric OPDs on Monday. We have a NCD 83 patients. Percent of patients attending the general OPD are from non-communicable diseases. Next slide, please. So mobile clinical research is an outreach program under which the mobile clinical research unit provides healthcare to the economically weaker section of the population of rural areas and suburban slums at their doorsteps throughout the country where healthcare facilities are either less or not available. So far, at RM Chennai, more than 3 lakh patients from 35 different suburban slums and areas have been treated. The council provides treatment to the ailing masses through Unani medicine. The mobile unit has also conducted morbidity health survey studies. Projects such as SRPP and SCSP and TSP are covered under this project, through which we carry out we visit those areas 5 days in a week, and not only the treatment is given to the common ailments, but also an health awareness is being created among the masses. That is one important specialty of this project. Next slide, please. This is one flagship program of Government of India, that is the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, under which this SRPP program was initiated, in which mobile OPDs for providing Ayush treatment and organizing camp for screening and providing Ayush treatment, early diagnosis of diseases in rural areas. It is also aimed at creating awareness through health education, family survey, developing and distributing IEC material in local languages for better outreach and compliance. So the program has been initiated by CCR to its 12 institutes and centers of India. As I said, 5 areas are covered under by each institute in 5 days of a week. Community awareness program on sanitation and nutrition were also organized under the program for educating the villages on strategies for prevention and of disease, strategies for prevention of disease and improving health. At RRM Chennai, we have been able to treat 24,922 patients under this project. Next slide, please. SCSP is one such program which is also mainly aimed to cater to the economically weaker section of the population, particularly the SC population. The team visits the far-flung areas and provide treatment at their doorsteps. It also aims to create awareness among the masses on preventive, promotive, and curative health aspects through awareness lectures, group meetings, and distribution of IEC literature in local languages. At ROM Chennai, more than 43 nearly 44,000 patients have been examined and treated under this project, which is still in progress. Next slide, please. TSP, Tribal Sub-Plan, is one important project under which the tribal areas are taken care of. Particularly, this project is under progress at ROM Bhadrak, Srinagar, and CRU Burhanpur and Kurnool, mainly to extend healthcare services to the ST population. Yeah, I'm almost at the nearing end. Next slide, please. School health program is one of the early, and when the council was formed, right from day one, we were involved in the school health program, which also takes care of the school children particularly not only their health is promoted, and they were also given awareness lectures on various health issues. Next slide, please. Health camps is also one of the important activity which is conducted by every referral institute. We have Unani medical centers in conventional hospitals through which healthcare is being provided to the ailing masses. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Health education to the school children. Next slide, please. This is one program, NPCDS. Um, through this National Program for Prevention and Control of Caries, Cardiovascular Disease, and this project initiated at Kheri. The objective was to ensure prevention and diagnosis. Um, Next slide, please. Information education and communication program, under which different activities are being carried out, different health events are carried out. These are all the events through which the masses are sensitized through imparting health awareness lectures. Campaigns were utilized widely and extensively to create health awareness, COVID appropriate behavior, Ayush immunity campaigns, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav 75. All these campaigns have helped a lot in educating the masses, particularly during the COVID pandemic. Next slide, please. Pharmacovigilance program is one which is concerned with monitoring of adverse events of associated with drugs. This was initiated in 1718. The goal was to ensure the benefits of use of medicine outweighs the risk and thus safeguard the health of the Indian population. So next slide, please. Almost most of the Unani institutions are covered under this central sector scheme. Next slide, please. Then we have an accreditation of facilities to Center of Excellence in Lajbit Tadbir at ROM Srinagar. ROM Srinagar has been recently bestowed with this Center of Excellence in Lajbit Tadbir. I have highlighted certain points which is more concerned with health and wellness sector. Next slide, please. Different lifestyle diseases projects have been proposed and that has been approved by the next slide, please. Some of the projects which are related mostly to lifestyle diseases have been proposed by them and it has been approved, and very soon these trials are going to be commenced. Next slide, please. Next slide. So what is I'm coming to the conclusion part. What is the way forward for us? Augmentation of competency levels among academia, researchers, and healthcare providers is one way forward. One as a scientist, as a researcher, one has to update and upgrade their knowledge. Unless and until this happens, you may not see much of the future for United States of Medicine. Now, this is a concept of not only PhDs but also postdoctoral fellowships. But in Unani, once a person acquires a PG degree and gets into the service, he becomes content with it. It should not be that. Actually, rather it one should education so that it will keep himself competent to meet the various health challenges facing the country. And popularization of Unani concepts of preventive, promotive, and rehabilitative measures has to be widely popularized. Telemedicine is one area wherein we are lagging behind. We have been given the certain guidelines, and we are about to start this project at our institute also. Artificial intelligence is one area where Unani medicine can do a lot. We are lagging behind this. We have to put maximum efforts to incorporate artificial intelligence in our research projects and in our different activities. Then computational studies of various drugs. In silico studies are it's cheap studies, very cost-effective studies. Before going into the rather costlier studies, if we go for computational studies, that will show the effectiveness of the drug at the lab itself, and that could pave a way for further studies. Then NCT-oriented research projects, cosmetotherapeutic studies, medical tourism, startups for Unani pharmaceutical industries. This should come right from the medicos who are there in their colleges. That my bent of mind should be there to go for startups. Then you have multi-institutional collaborative studies. Branding of Unani medicine is also very vital. If you have to remain relevant in the society, one has to brand his own product. You may not survive if you not brand our product extensively by being the brand ambassadors of this system. So that must also be taken care of. In conclusion, next slide, please. To conclude, United System of Medicine is playing a vital role in transforming lives of people with health and wellness through its robust principles and practices. CCRM and its peripheral institutions are always in the forefront in effective implementation of various health and wellness initiatives of the ministry. CCRM and its peripheral institutions have contributed actively throughout the COVID pandemic. All the peripheral institutions are committed to effective implementation of CCRM's vision and mission and provide safe and cost-effective healthcare solutions through Unani medicine. Thank you for your attention listening. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zahir. Now I request Dr. Shabnam uh, Hakil Haram Institute to please present a memento and a flower bud to Dr. Zahir Ahmed, and the chairs and co-chairs to please join. That was a wonderful deliberation from Dr. N. Zahir. He highlighted that the public health and outreach program of the council, which targets the masses and has been delivering healthcare at the doorstep. I would like to highlight that during the COVID times, the council's institutes worked tirelessly to deliver healthcare and Unani medicines to the doorstep. And I think the team CCRM deserves a wonderful hand for this. It was a very tough time, and our team was almost in the field distributing medicines, and our in charges were working tirelessly around it. Mizaj assessment is one of a very unique feature of the system, and recently the council has developed an app for the Mizaj assessment, a very handy one at that. So while you must all were coming here, you must have seen standees with that QR code. So that QR code is for Mizaj assessment. So I request all of you that while you are outside the hall, you can go for your Mizaj assessment, and it can tell you a few lifestyle and dietary advices also. Yes. Coming to the next talk, we have Dr. Syed Mohammad Abbas Zaidi from HSZH Government Unani Medical College. He is a graduate and postgraduate from Jamia Hamdard University, my alma mater actually. And he is a very upcoming scientist and an associate member of many committees. And he has been conferred during his small tenure, he has been conferred with some good recognitions. He has been got the Best Paper Award in a scientific conference at Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in 2011. And he has also been conferred with the Young Science Award by the Ministry of Ayush, which earlier we used to give the Ayush Awards in Unani medicine. So he is also the recipient of this. He has many published papers, and he will be on exploring strength will tadabi in wellness sector. Please, I request you to please talk short as you're already behind you. And since this is the first, if we are late, then automatically all these sessions will.
Of this session, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and Assalamu alaikum to all of you. First of all, I would like to thank the CCRM for giving me this opportunity to deliver a talk over here. The topic which is assigned to me is exploring strengths of regimenal therapy in health and wellness sector. Next, please. So, Ilaj with Tadbir or regimenal therapy, as you all know, is one of the important three modes of treatment in Unani system of medicine, which involves modulation and modification of 6 essential factors, that is, Asbab-e-Sitta Zaruriya. This mode of treatment uses mainly various procedure-based therapies, which are either non-pharmacologic or use least medicines to prevent, maintain, and restore health. Next, please. This slide shows the concept of ilaj bit tadbir in our ancient Unani literature, and most of our ancient Unani physicians, they have related it with the modulation of asbab sitta zaruriya. That's why I have given this reference here. Next, please. So I have classified all the modes of ilaj bit tadbir according to asbab sitta zaruriya. So number one is Hawai Mohit, as you all know, mostly concerned with the prevention. So if we put some modes of ilaj bit tadbir, though maybe you may not find these kind of things in the ancient literature, but because the principle is the modulation of asbab sitta zaruriya, that's why I have mentioned a few of them. Then Makul Mushroom deals mainly with the dietotherapy or Ilaj bil Ghaza. In some of Unani books, you'll find dietotherapy as a separate entity. But keeping in view of the Ibn Sina's classifications, I have included as an integral part of this Ilaj with Tadbir. Then Harkat wa Sukun Badni, Harkat wa Sukun Nafsani. I have mentioned all these modes under different Asbab Sitta Zaruriya headings. Naum wa Yakza, different interventions inducing sleep, like for example, Nutul Ras, Ehtibas wa Istifrag, that is the evacuation, retention and evacuation. So all the modes of bloodletting and other modes which are causing the evacuation, they have been mentioned here. And this is not the final list. There are many more modes of treatment which can be adjusted here, accommodated here, but I have just mentioned a few important ones. Next, please. So as you all know that earlier it was the infectious disease which was causing the mortality and morbidity across the globe, but there has been a trend now. The non-communicable disorder, the lifestyle cause of mortality and morbidity, and they are responsible 62% of Indian deaths caused due to non-communicable or lifestyle disorders. And earlier, these diseases were confined to the Western countries only, but with the import of those Western lifestyles and all those things, it is increasing in incidence rapidly in low and middle income countries like our country. Non-communicable diseases are recognized as a major global challenge in the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Then another one is musculoskeletal disorder is again a very emerging health challenge. So musculoskeletal conditions are the leading contributor to disability worldwide, with low back pain being the single leading cause of disability. Apart from this, there are many neurological disorders, for example, post-stroke disability and other causes, which are the leading challenges. Next, please. So this slide shows the important causes of non-communicable diseases. The four main types are cardiovascular diseases, cancer, COPD, and diabetes. Next, please. Then, as you all know that chronic pain is again a very important challenge for us, and this is negatively affecting a patient's health in all the domains of health, be it physically, psychologically, emotionally. So and the current available treatment is inadequate to address this challenge, because most of the NSAIDs, they are not good for taking for the prolonged period, because these NCDs are the slowly progressing diseases, and patient has to take the NSAIDs for a longer duration, and especially the patients are the elderly, so who are already associated with many comorbidities. And another thing is opioidal use. So chronic opioidal use is again causing a lot of dependence. So these things causing a big challenge to the healthcare system. Next, please. So in view of these challenges, Ilaj with Tadbir interventions have a measurable impact on health, quality of life, behavioral and socio-economic markers. Their implementation requires communicational and ethical skills. They are socially more acceptable. They can be used as preventive, health promotive, and curative purposes. They are comparatively much safer for prolonged use. They can be safely used in patients, pregnant ladies, full conditions, including musculoskeletal disorders, scan, and post-operative pain. Next. Lifestyle disorders or non-communicable diseases, particularly post-stroke neurorehabilitation. mental problems. As you all know that sleep deprivation is one of the most important under-recognized public health issue, and there are a lot of risk factors, risk which are associated with chronic insomnia, which further leads to the causation of different non-communicable disorders, for example, obesity and cardiovascular disease and stroke. To increase quality of life in some incurable disorders, for example, cancer, HIV, then it can be used in the medical tourism. Government of India in 2002 launched an international marketing campaign with the name of Incredible India, and which is medical tourism is one of the component of this campaign. So Ilaj with Tadbir can be better promoted here from this platform, and it can be promoted at rural areas as less resources are required. Next, please. This slide shows the few published randomized control trials on cupping therapy. Next, please. These are some studies. I'm not going into the detail because of the time constraints. Next, please. Next. Then a few published randomized control trials on irsal-e-alaq, that is leash therapy. I have not included all the trials. I have tried to include only the most recently published and with the improved methodology. So these are the trials which have been done for the leash therapy. Next, please. This slide shows the clinical trials on fuzzed therapeutic venesection. So as you all know that venesection is an important part of Unani system of medicine as a part of Ilaj with Tadbir, and it is being practiced since centuries. Even in the modern system, it was used till the 19th century, but it fell into the disrepute owing to its unscientific impression. Then, no, go back. But still, there has been an interest to conduct some clinical studies on venesection in the conventional medicine. For example, if the first one is knee osteoarthritis, this study was done by Dr. Shadiq Ali Khan, who was earlier working in CCREM, and the rest of these studies have been published in the by the conventional scholars. So it successfully being used for hepatitis C, metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance associated iron overload, type 2 diabetes mellitus as an adjuvant to pharmacotherapy, hemochromatosis. Actually, the main purpose of using this section is to decrease the iron content and serum ferritin level, and to decrease the chronic viscosity of the blood. Next, please. These are the few published RCTs on massage therapy. Next, please. Next. So what are the challenges associated with these Ilaj with Tadbir? While Unani physicians are familiar with dosage of medications, evidence-informed frequency, dosage, and timing of Ilaj with Tadbir therapies is less well disseminated. Non-availability of standard operative procedures is leading to the non-reproducibility of the results. Availability of the only few published randomized controlled trials on different indications is another challenge. Practice by untrained and unskilled hands leads to the malpractice or abuse of these IBT hands-on interventions. Patient exploitation in the name of prophetic tradition. This holds true particularly for cupping therapy, because many inadequately trained or unqualified practitioner, they are performing cupping therapy with the name of this prophetic tradition, and sometimes these unethical practices causes the harm to our repo. Non-availability of any authentic leech supplier is another big challenge. That's why if you are going to perform the leech therapy is being practiced in Ayurveda and Unani to one of the ancient system of medicine in India, but it is very unfortunate that no leech farm is available in India who can supply the sterile medicinal leeches. So it is a good opportunity for even CCRUM to develop a leech farm. Non-adherence to the seasonal, temperamental, dietary, and other prescribed medications should be taken into the consideration when we are performing this Ilaj with Tadbir interventions. Next, please. Research and evaluation of safety and efficacy should be performed. For safety, therapies should be performed within the accepted parameters, and the indications for a therapy should be evidence-based when possible. Variable quality control in the manufacture of therapy equipment should also be taken into the consideration. How to deal with the accidents in case if they do occur, how to refer the patient to an appropriate physician if there is a medical emergency. Next, please. And the efficacy of the IBT intervention mostly depends on the proficiency of the skills and experience. This may partly explain the disparity or inconsistency of results reported by different authors, even though the methodologies of the studies were equally sound. Then theories and concepts, certain behavioral rules promoting healthy diets and habits should be taken into the consideration. Temperamental considerations need to be assessed and noted. The study design should take into account seasonal variations that are important in Unani system of medicine. Next, please. Clinical trials should be, randomized control trials should be conducted. And there is a big challenge when we are performing RCTs on these procedure-based therapies because blinding is not feasible. So, and sometimes impractical. So we should try to use the sham devices whenever they are feasible. The dose frequency and duration of a treatment, in copying amount of pressure created, duration of each episode of therapy, the quality of details of scarificator use, the depth of scarification, frequency, intensity, etc. should be based on the relevant literature and experience of Unani practitioners. Next, please. So development of standard operative procedures and their adherence is a need of the day. And both the general SOPs as well as the disease specific SOPs should be prepared. And this may be promoted in the integrative oncology, as Gunavat madam was rightly saying. Then mechanistic studies of hemorrhagical changes, because this is the very emerging science of where the flow of liquid in a vessel is studied, hemorrhology. So these changes in bloodletting procedures, metabolomics, proteomic effects of these IBT interventions should be explored. Randomized control trials involving ICMR ethical guidelines should be performed. Prevention of IBT malpractice through proper training of required knowledge and skills. Establishment of leach form is a must if we are going to perform leach therapy. Publication, if we want to make our these therapies more visible across the globe and more acceptability, then the publication of study results, meta-analysis with improved research methodology should be formed. Next, please. So finally, it may be concluded that IBT therapies are comparatively much safer and have better patient acceptance if performed in proper and skillful manner. They have the potential to reduce potential iatrogenic effects of multiple medications by decreasing reliance on them, especially in elderly and those with chronic illnesses. They could infuse the practice of medicine with the bio, psycho, socio, spiritual goal of healing the whole person. If implemented successfully, impact of non-communicable diseases, chronic disease on health and wellness can be significantly altered. So there is a desperate need to create a shift from a medical system based on illness, as Madam was rightly saying, to one based on health and wellness. Embracing the role of these IBT interventions in promoting health and wellness will respond to this need. Next, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abbas, for that wonderful talk. And now I request the chairperson of this session, Dr. Sunita Garg, to please present the memento and a flower bud to Dr. Abbas Zaidi. The co-chairs, Dr. Fazil and Dr. Asma, please join. With that, we conclude this session, and I request the chairperson, Dr. Sunita Garg, to please present her concluding remarks.